What's going on, good people of good living? Today's episode, we are talking about NYSC. I want to write NYSC. NYSC. And what I've learned and what I think is the use of this thing. If you're listening to this, you probably have completed your service and you are doing something. If you've not, I'm going to advise you to do your service and find a way to incorporate your current life, because I know a lot of us do not care, just like I did before coming for this program. I didn't give a rat's ass about NYSC because I felt like I didn't need it. In fact, I was always telling family and friends, this thing is going to stop what I'm already doing with my life. Like, it's going to put a pause. I feel like I'm already onto something. It's going to put a pause, until I thought about it strategically and thought, you know what, this thing I'm doing here, I'm wasting my life in my country doing podcast. Like, this is not where this type of thing blows. In my mind, I was always telling myself, it's like, no, but people go viral from anywhere. Like Wasabi went viral from Ibadan. Like, people go viral from anywhere. So perhaps I'll go viral from somewhere. But it is strategic moves. And like, my life is not their life. So you probably have to do something different, Cook Boy. So you can incorporate your plans with NYSC. And the reason why I'm saying this is because at this point now, this is just month 2, but I know that I understand the reason for this scheme. First of all, on a large scale, this country is difficult for us to get along normally. As Gowon ended civil war in 1967, he now said, okay, I don't know if in 1967 they started NYSC or whenever they started it, but it was Gowon that started it and thought it would be nice while people are young and fresh to just boot you, scramble you people after university. You go through school, you go through the educational system, and then once you're done with it, we scramble all of you with each other. Once you're fresh out of school, so that you can go and learn other cultures and be empathetic to other cultures and you can mix up, so that there will be no nepotism and da. Has it worked? Has that worked? Only at the individual level. It still hasn't worked large scale. NYSC, what is the real purpose of it though? But thankfully, even at the individual level, good work is being done. You get, there are people who, you see Tito Yogurt that I think it was NYSC that brought him to Benue State, and then he started that business, and then he dominated that whole industry in that state. So individual stories are great. You see Coke Boy with good living came to Lagos. You get my point. So that's one good thing. But aside that, while in the orientation camp, I got this idea, and I used to want to record this whole thing, like, I've gotten the idea of what NYSC is about. But now, inside camp, activities choke, so I'll be recording and be talking about other things. Cadence, Coke Boy, cadence. Yes. So is a filler word that I need to get out of my vocabulary. So every time, nah. Anyway, have I skipped? God, I don't want to pause this thing. I want this thing to be straight. Right, let's go. So while in camp, I figured a lot of people do not understand patriotism. And if you watch American films, there's a way Americans are proud to be Americans, especially when they are out of America. They are proud of their country, where they are from. And you can see that in the way they behave and in their vocabulary. Even other countries, they are proud of the Queen in the UK. Maybe it's the white people that in the UK that are like that, yeah. But you get my point. The sense of belonging to a place, to a state, gives you a sense of pride in that state. And in the orientation camp, I feel like what they try to instill in us is the respect of your country. And by essentially feeding us and giving us a livelihood in this 1 year period, they are supposed to develop, the plan is to develop in us a respect, an allegiance, a loyalty to this country, a pride in this country. So in the orientation camp, they teach you different things. You learn the national anthem afresh if you hadn't learned it. Like myself, they even changed it between when I left school and now. So, I learned the new one, and then I learned the NYSC anthem. And these things are to indoctrinate you, to get you into a more loyal state with your country. Because before coming to camp, Nigeria is just this place that happened to me. Like that, this unfortunate thing that happened to me, that is what I saw Nigeria as. And for most people who have not passed through the system, or who have passed through the system and now are long gone, like those of you who served like years ago, you probably are back to that default state because, you cannot brainwash us. And if you're not following up with like reforms and improvements, we will still stay brainwashed, The Nigeria will actually happen to somebody through, and then he will remember that all that camp and NYSC thing is just for him to mellow small. Right. So, the idea, one, is to reduce nepotism, to have us mixed together, and then to teach you the value of your country. And I think that is what the army does very well. It is why the army is in charge of the NYSC. Soldiers of a country are loyal to a fort, to that country. Why? There is something they do to them. Orientation camp that they teach us, that they do for us, right? Orientation camp that we went and we experienced is probably the full lifestyle of an average soldier. You will be under the command of your superiors. You will be forced to obey orders. You will be punished if you disobey anyone. And that is just a life cycle. And then that forces you into loyalty. When I was doing flag party, I was flag party commander, so I held the flag, right? And certain times there is a way I will hold the flag and the soldiers will look at me and they will scold me in a certain way because I was probably manhandling the flag. There's a way I was treating the flag that I wasn't supposed to. And it's not because I was not doing it well for the march past or for the parade. It is the flag. It was the flag. And that is the thing that has been indoctrinated in them. Because the flag is representing the country. And that loyalty to that country is what they represent by wearing that, until we say jersey now. They're wearing that uniform that they wear. Which is what we are doing as well, representing the country with the NYSC uniform that we wear. So they understood that to a high degree, and they tried to instill that in us. Another advantage is the reset of your life. And this is more of the advantage of the orientation camp. The reset of your life. Ideally, you're supposed to be in the orientation. Listen, I understood this. And that is one reason why I tried to obey the rules in camp as much as possible. Honestly, I really did try. Come be as if I break one or two rules. No, I'm not telling people about any rules I broke in camp. But anyway, in terms of discipline, right, and to keep yourself away from things that would soil your person, I tried. And what I'm trying to say here is, in orientation camp, it is 21 days, and scientifically, that is exactly how long it will take you to break any habit or form any habit. So I know that it is intentional. They would have said 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 month. But 21 days is a very precise number for a particular reason. And I don't know if this research was out when they formed NYSC and said 21 days, but I like to think that it was. Now, if you came from home and you are the type of person, as many young men are, that smoked loud every day, or drank alcohol of some sort every day, or partied every Friday, or has sex every day or every other day, or once a week, however you do it. But anyhow, 21 days doesn't pass without you knocking somebody. Whatever it is that you do that is not really a productive activity and is more like a leisure or pleasure activity, the orientation camp caught that. Some people even had addictions, right? It could be even the same smoking or ice, some form of drug, or even masturbating. Whatever the addiction was, the idea of the orientation camp is that when you come there, you are too busy to do any of those other things or even to think of them. A good example now. So you see, they fill your days up with activities at the NYSC camp. You only have the freedom to have your siesta and your meals. Everything else is taken up until dinner, until lights out, which is 10 p.m. And by that time, honestly, you are knackered from the day and you just have to go to bed. If you don't go to bed, you will suffer it in the exam. Soon enough, you will learn your lesson. One thing that me and my friend Ima figured out in week 2 was, look, every 1 minute of your time you give somebody else, you will pay for it in the front. And so we used to be careful about, how we manage our time. Even if me I'm working and one girl stops me and she's trying to talk, he knows that this conversation, it better be something value, you better know what you're saying, because I will not waste my time talking to you like this. No vex, fine girl. And we'll move. Even his own situation too, we'll hold each other accountable. Other than some sort of free time, okay, dining, we no go. We went 3 times. And we ate at Mami. So if you go and have your meal at Mami and you have time for both the meal and the siesta, so you have time during that period. So then you can do whatever you want. And nobody will disturb anybody. But then, when maybe it's almost time for us have a lecture or something, you're supposed to get a chair. Right? You're supposed to... That even reminds me, self. When I went to my PPA, right? And we were walking around to go and try and get our acceptance letter, or what was it, self? And then that female copper, Habiba, was with me. And then there was a female copper that was already at the school. She was not a teacher. She was doing admin work. So there are 2 chairs. 2 chairs. By the way, guys, there is no... I've digressed stage 2 now. There is no picture today. I know snap any... Oh, I took some shower. Me and Kachi went somewhere. Went to visit somebody. And so, yeah. Maybe I'll post that one picture. Anyway, at that place, there were 2 chairs. The female copper that was already in the school was sitting on one. And then when I came, I sat on the other one. And then Habiba was standing, talking to one teacher that was talking to her. And then I noticed, oh shit, the chick is standing. And I stood up and told Habiba, please sit. But I insisted, and then she sat. And the female couple was like, gentleman, now you be the type where they give girl chair for camp. I'm like, you dumb. You don't know what a gentleman is. We are not in camp anymore. This is not survival mode anymore. In camp, chairs are scarce. And if you don't give a woman if you don't get a chair, you might have to stand for a 5-hour lecture. Or a 2-hour social night or something like that. You have to stand for a ridiculously long period of time. So you have to secure yourself. You don't have any wife or children. But in a case where the chair is there, I've been sitting, I've already sat, and we'll leave that place in a few minutes, the gentleman can come out now. We are no longer in survival mode. This is not camp, you dumb fuck. But anyway, I just took that to the chest and swallowed it. She doesn't know what she's saying. I'm not the kind of guy that would dash any random girl a chair just because. If I don't like you, go to hell. Go and stand or hustle your own chair in camp. But she didn't know that, so why bother? I gave her my seat. Anyway, what was I even saying, Seth, about NYSC and camp and how it's important for you? How it's important for you. It's funny how I'll just be talking freely like this, talk, and I'll put it on the internet for human beings to see. If I want to get a job now, but what have I said bad? Yeah, I beg. So we understood the importance of timing and some of the skills you learn, not even skills, but some of the lessons you learn while you are there. It teaches you how to manage your time when you leave. So if you go to camp forgetting, I'll go to camp with different, what would they call them, habits and problems and addictions and blah, 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 blah. If you sit into 1 days as you are supposed to, a lot of people take exam because they can't take it. If you have health issues, I'm so sorry, you have to go home. But if you really just wanted to do softy that you could escape camp and you left, that one is your business. But I think they do this for your own good. If you calculate the amount of money that the government spends on this scheme to pay you this money that they pay you to feed everybody in all the 36 camps, you realize that it is not small money, even though it is still smaller than what some of them are stealing. But it is not small money. And so, if you stay 21 days, there is no habit that you will not break. There is no addiction you enter that camp with if you obey. that you will not break. And then at the end of the day, you live with habits like waking up early, like time management, and things like that. And then it's preparing you for your future. Kachi, please now. Preparing you for your future. So that's the thing. So they actually have your best interest at heart at that stage, or at least, since inception. It is now the other things now that spoil it. Like the nepotism still exists. Or now everybody can simply just go and serve where they want to serve. So the whole scrambling idea doesn't even work anymore. But you can use it to your advantage. So if you're scared of the step, find a way to incorporate it into your long-term plan. It would probably work for you.